I was wrong. I was completely wrong. Last week I put out a video about Andre Onana and said that he's a problem at Manchester United. And I was wrong. Guys, welcome back to another episode of your Daily Gaffer. It is me, Wrong and Strong, aka the Dragon Lord. I can no longer use Wrong and Strong because of Gareth Southgate. So I'm the Dragon Lord. Before I continue, for those of you new to Armchair Gaffers and discovering us via the Daily Gaffer, guys, this is not our bread and butter. Our main food, our manna from heaven, if you like, is our Monday podcast, which is out now. I'll have a link in the description, and I'll have a pop-up somewhere. Please, people, if you watch these regularly and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It helps us fight Al Gore and his rhythms, and give us a like as well. It's free and it looks like this. Now, with that out of the way, people, let me begin. I was wrong last week when I said that Andre Onana is a problem at Manchester United. Now, what I tried to do is be somewhat of a hipster and give a different angle as to why the Onana thing may not work. And more what I was trying to do is trying to maybe rationalise why Manchester Unite Sporting Directive's results haven't been going to plan. At the time, they scraped a 1-0 against Wolves on the opening day. They then lost 2-0 to Tottenham, then scraped a 3-2 comeback at Nottingham Forest. Now, I'm not sure, but they may have lost to Arsenal by then. I'm not sure. But nonetheless, I tried to give some reasoning as to why the performances weren't great and the results weren't going the way all those connected to Manchester United Sporting Directive would like. In short, what I said was that with Onana's passing ability, teams are more likely to sit off of Manchester United Sporting Directive, which would nullify Manchester United Sporting Directive's main strength, which is Rashford, with acres of green grass to run onto. I tried to say that, and I must have maybe not conveyed my message coherently enough, but I was attacked on Twitter. None of you guys on here attacked me. You kind of understood where I was coming from. But nonetheless, people, I was wrong. Onana isn't the problem at Manchester United Sporting Directive. In fact, what I should say is that he's not the only problem. These last couple of days, it seems that Twitter has finally realised what I've been saying for the longest time, and that Rashford isn't this messiah who he is portrayed to be. I said that last season he went through a marvellous purple patch. However, I'm always weary when I see a lot of goals. I'm worried about the quality of opponent that was scored against. He scored 17 in the Premier League, and the other 13 goals were chalked up in the Europa League and the League Cup, the Energy Drink Cup, if you would. So I was a bit wary as to where he's getting these goals, and they weren't all against Premier League teams. I tried to say this and I was shut down. The year before, I said that Rashford is just mad fast, and if you close the spaces in behind between the goalkeeper and the defence, he's nullified, but people ignored me. But it seems like people are finally understanding, finally seeing what I was talking about. He's a head down merchant, no vision, no sorry guys, I had a quick phone call and now I've lost my train of thought again. Rashford is an in behind merchant. However, what I saw in the game against Brighton, 3-1 loss at the Theatre of Dreams, at the Theatre of Manchester United Sport Directive, was the lowest intensity pressing I've ever seen in my entire life. I saw poor pressing. I saw the kind of pressing that got Ronaldo, CR7, chased out of Manchester United Sporting Directive after he returned. I saw the IQ so low that Had I not known it was Rashford, I would question if this man had ever played football before. However, Rashford isn't the only problem at Manchester Unite Sport Directive. Manchester Unite Sport Directive needed a left back, and you decided to sign a player who can't even break into Tottenham's team. I know he had a good game, but you can't bank on Sergio Reguilón to produce any level of decent performance with any kind of regularity. Lisandro Martinez, I don't think he's a bad player. I also don't think he's a good player. I just think he's okay. But the Manchester United Sport Directive PR team hypes up every good performance and nullifies any bad performance or any average performance. I mean, with the exception to comments about his height, you don't hear much bad said about him. Carlos Casemiro, given it may be a 6-year contract, but it's definitely a 5-year contract at the age of 30. He would be a fool to turn it down, but it's clear that he is not what Manchester United Sport Directive need to cover that ground in midfield. I mean, Ten Hag did surprise me against Brighton, playing the diamond, and it was good to see McTominay back. I personally think that Manchester United Sport Directive missed a trick with letting Fred go, because I feel like the two of them in that midfield could have been very good. However, it was never going to work because you have to shoehorn Bruno Fernandes into the team somehow, and Ten Hag won't really diverge from his 4-2-3-1. I know yesterday, he played a diamond in the midfield, but he's shoehorning Bruno Fernandes in the team, and Eriksen, who has his deficiencies as we know. Those are my problems, Those are my problems. Onana, Reguilón, Martinez, Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, Eriksen, and Rashford. There were many problems. But the biggest one for me, I mean, Bruno Fernandes is probably the best bad player we've ever seen grace the beautiful game. He's not bad. He's just not very good. And I think he's surviving on a lot of money in the bank. The money he accumulated those first 18 months when he arrived from Sporting Club de Portugal. Is that what we call them? Sporting Club. With all those goals and assists. But that was a different time. We were in the midst of a global crisis. And he profited from that. And he's built his career solely on those early days at Manchester United. He's a complicator of football. One of my friends refers to him as, when he gets the ball, his immediate thought is to launch it long and far for Rashford, and when he can't, he dilly-dallies, and then just goes backwards. And the attitude for me just stinks. I don't think anyone outside of Manchester United Sporting Directive is endeared to Bruno Fernandes. I think that spine of the team, Onana, Licha, Casemiro, Bruno, and Rashford, is just, it's woeful. Then you have other issues. The Sancho, who, if you look at him this last year in a piece since he's been at United and compare him to Sancho at Dortmund, different guy. You'd think that his cousin was playing. Jason Sanchez, not Jadon Sancho. Anthony. You look at Anthony and you do not see 90 million anythings when you look at him. Again, we've got to question Ten Hag's talent ID. There's nothing good at Manchester United. If you guys watch today's podcast, you see that I already spoke about Manchester United Sport Directive because I wanted to save it for my daily gaffer. I'm looking for the silver lining. I'm trying to think where Manchester United Sport Directive improve, and the only place I can see them improving is hoping that Rashford has another purple patch, and hoping that Højlund fulfills his potential, which there is loads of, but currently it's only potential. I mean, if Rashford doesn't get his head up and stop being so selfish, Højlund will regret every moment he spends in Manchester. The biggest problem at United, I'm going to say, is Rashford. Or is it Bruno Fernandes? Or is it Casemiro? There are so many problems. And I think United need to find a manager who they're going to back, it may be Ten Hag, and allow him to cull, exercise their demons, like get rid of all the dead wood and the poison, and actually have some talent ID. I've said before, people, that I don't believe Manchester Unite Sport Directive have good... Am I recording? I am recording. Panic there for a sec. I don't think Manchester Unite Sports Directive have good scouting. From day one, I've said this before, I've probably said it on the Daily Gaffer, that going back to my day, Manchester United Sport Directive just had the biggest pool. I mean, why wouldn't you want to play for them? You know, they could go to any club in the league and sign their best player. Like, they could sign a player from any club and sign the best from 90% of the clubs in the league for a very long time. They haven't really had to do scouting. You know, they have found good players in the past, like Cristiano Ronaldo, for example. But look at Wayne Rooney, that wasn't scouting. He was the best prospect in the league at the time. You look at players like Alan Smith, that wasn't scouting. He was Leeds' best player. We're not going to include the class of 92 because they were there for the youth academy. You look at Rio Ferdinand, he was the most expensive defender for how long? Definitely in the league, possibly the world, I don't recall. Vidic was a good buy, I'll give them that. They haven't really had to, when they've tried to do scouting, like you end up with Gabriel Obertans and Bebes. So United need a complete change in culture, but as long as the people who were there for the past generation remain there, this isn't going to happen. And for once, I actually agree that maybe the Glazers need to go. Everyone needs to go. You need to endure a really rough patch. I'm not talking about what's happening right now at Manchester Unite Sport Directive. I'm talking about something worse than this. I'm talking about like scraping to get top 10 in the league for a little while and really rebuild your identity. Otherwise, we're just going to be going around in circles, and we're going to keep paying Rashford all this money we're paying him to not square the ball to the striker. Guys, that's been all for me today. I just wanted to get this out. I'm actually in the midst of editing this week's podcast. By the time I say this, it'll be done and edited, but it is late. It's not that late. 11:23 in the night. 11:03. I can't read. I'm gonna crack on and finish what I'm doing, people. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you when we get there. Oh, I'm wearing a Dutch top, and Ten Hag is Dutch as well. That was just a mistake. That was not on purpose, people. But shout out Holland, Orange, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.